Okay, let's begin. Today we'll talk about App Invite on Android, and it is a Google API that can be used for iOS developer and Android developer, but we will focus on the Android part. So we begin with story. I want to tell you a little story, and I will try to see if some of you actually already um, know the story. So I want to tell you, to ask you if it's you ever have some kind of feeling, great feeling, good feeling, of some kind of good vibes, and the better way to explain this kind of feeling actually is to express it in this way. Wow, wow, really, this is amazing. So this kind of feeling when you meet someone, you meet something, you see a book, or you see a website, or you have a deep conversation with someone, and at some moment you have this click. Wow, I didn't know that. It is interesting, it is amazing, it is just magic. And the first thing in your mind is, I have to tell it to someone, maybe my mother, maybe my wife, maybe some friends. So the first thing in your mind is, okay, when I go back home, I have to tell this because this thing is really interesting. And this kind of feeling can happen sometimes. It is really amazing to experience it. And sometimes it's happen also for the application we use every day. So maybe you can have you download an application for the first time, you use it, and then you just feel like, oh, amazing. Like maybe the first time you use Facebook or Twitter or some kind of this application, that you really experience this kind of experience and great feeling, and you want to share it to the people you love. How many people here already experience this kind of feeling? Okay. Happy to know that I'm not alone to be a little bit sensible in this room. So App Invite is some tool for the developer that let the user, when they use the application, if they feel that kind of magic when they use the application, if the application have great value, actually they want to share it with the people they love. It is the first thing they will think when they will use your application, if there is this kind of great value. And if you're a great developer, usually you try to put some kind of value in your application. So you need also this tool. So when people have this kind of feeling, they will have the button to share it with the friend, the family. Okay, so the content of today is, why should I care about App Invite? What is it important? And how do I use it as a developer? And we also have to measure it, because if you don't measure something, you don't know if it is working or not. Okay, something about me. My name is Wilfried, and I was born in Africa. Now I live here in Italy, and this is my Twitter, E-Willy1. I am an Android developer, and I sometimes speak to some conference. I also collaborate with DGG Torino for some kind of event like this one. And about the photo, it is me in my office here in Turin. Okay, so the most important question of today is, why should I care about Google App Invite? Why should I use it? Or why is it important? It is the question. I'm not a really an expert guy about marketing or stuff like that, but I have some experience. I develop an Android application from 4 years now, and I will try to give you some answer to these questions. So the first answer is the number of download of your application. Usually when you are a developer, you care about how many users use your application or your product, so it's actually important for you. And this tool can help you to have more user, because user invite user. So invite my friend, invite my family, and invite other people, and the number of user will grow actually. So this is the first thing on my point of view. And as an example, I am an Android developer, and when I put an application on the marketplace, I am really happy when I see that there is a new user who download my application. And for me, one download is like one smile on my face, and I like to smile. So this is really important for me. I hope also for you. There is another reason. I think everybody know about it. Okay, so no comment about this. Like some application have some kind of payments inside, or some application are not just free, and you have to buy them. So for this kind of developer, actually, the cache is important. So more user, more cache. Okay, another great reason to use App Invite, it is because of the word of mouth legacy. Somebody know what is the word of mouth? No? Nobody? Okay, I will tell you the story. Long time ago, I think in every country, also in my country, there was no internet, no connection, no computer, no technology. So usually people used to talk a lot. There was a lot of conversation every time, and the best way actually to know something new is by speaking with people. So, for example, if in the city there is a new store with a t-shirt or jeans or really good clothes, and I go there, I try it, then I will go to my friend and we say, do you know there is a new store here? I buy my shoes in the new store, it is really amazing, look at this. And I will encourage them to try the new store. Actually, it works also in the opposite way. So if it is a bad store with a bad quality product, I also tell to my friend, don't go there because I buy something was not good. And so the word of mouth was really important, and it was the main way like people use to marketing or market their products. And after some time, we have the internet revolution, computers everywhere, website, web application. And at this moment, someone think that, okay, we could bring the word of mouth inside the internet and use it as a marketing tool. And at this moment, what's happened is we had a lot of web application and website try to say you that if you like this website, if you like this product, invite your friends, so write the mail, and then we will invite them to use this product. And maybe we will give you some gift, or we will give some gift to them when they will use the product. So for example, you have Dropbox that give more storage if you invite some friend to use Dropbox also, or stuff like that. So a lot of products begin to use this. And after we have the revolution of mobile phone, and again, someone think, okay, we can bring the word of mouth also in the mobiles applications. So let the user share the application with a friend to say, okay, this application is cool, so I will invite my friend to download and to use it. The problem is when this began, there were no tools to do that. So every company have to build their own framework to create some kind of technology to make it possible to invite people to use an application. So it was some kind of difficult, and not a lot of applications use it. And now we have some API that let you do this easily. The first one was the Facebook API in 2015 that let users share the app with the Facebook friends. So you can invite your Facebook friends to discover a new application so they can download it. And at the end of 2015, Google also released an API in beta version, and this API is App Invite actually, that let you invite your Google friends in your circle or the people in your contact list to use an application you're already using. So why this is important for me? Because this is a story. Word of mouth is some kind of long story that comes from a long time ago. So if I use the app invite, it's like I am part of this story. I am doing something bigger than myself. I'm using something bigger than myself. So this is an old tool to market products I'm using. So for me, some kind of important. Another reason is about happiness. Someone there already saw the movie Into the Wild. Okay, cool. Christopher McCandless from the movie said, happiness only real when it is shared. So to be really happy, sometimes you have to share your happiness with someone. So if our user, the user that actually download the application and use it, are happy using that application, we have to let them share with a friend because they will be more happy. So let's do something good. And now we have some kind of advice. So the good way and the bad way to use this tool. We begin with the bad way. Obviously, everybody already know this. We don't have to be annoying. And there are a lot of applications there in the marketplace that are really annoying. Like let's speak about, for example, do you know the rating system on the market where you have to give star to the application? Like from 1 to 5 star? Okay, perfect. So I downloaded an application today, and this morning the application told me, okay, if you like this application, just give me some vote. So go and give me 5 star. And I say, I have to use it, so I refuse. At midday, the same thing, notification. If you like this, just go and give me 5 star. And the same thing in the evening. So the first day I have 3 messages telling me to give a vote. So at the end of the day, I'm really annoyed because the application always remind me, okay, just go if you like and give me some vote and some comment, give me some ratings. And usually they say, give me some positive ratings, give me 5 star and stuff like that. So this is a bad way actually to ask to your user to do something like, for example, share the application with your friend. So you don't have to say to the user every single time, if you like my application, share it with your friends and let them use it also. So this is the first thing to know. Now we have the smart way to do it. This is just my advice, it's not the best way. You can be ready and you can be kind at the same time. So how to do this? Be ready means that you have to create a menu on your application that let the user share it with his friend. So when he will use the application, he will see that there is an option share with your friends. And this button is always there on the menu. So every time he wants to do it, when he feel like to do it, he will just go and push the button and invite his friend. So actually you don't force him, but you show him that there is a way to invite people to use the application. And then he will do it when he wants to do. And we have the be kind, that means you can give rewards actually to the user, give reward to the user who shared the application, and give reward to the user actually that have been invited to install and to use the application. Okay. Now let's go to the second part. Everything is okay?
Yeah.
Now? Okay, cool.
Wait, sorry.
Yes?
So, in your opinion, it is not a good idea to show to the user a pop-up where is written, please give me a rate or something like that?
Okay. Actually, you can do this, but you have to be polite. And if you want to do this, I propose you to let your user use your application, and maybe when he finishes to use the service or the main feature of your application, maybe for the first time, you can give a pop-up and say him, do you like this? And he will answer yes or no. So you put two buttons actually. If he say yes, I like it, you say okay. If you want, you can share this with your friends. And there is a button share and the button I don't want to share. So actually you let the choice to your user to do it or not do it. And this pop-up, you don't have to show it every single time. So you have to choose a long period of time between two pop-ups actually. And it is better to let him experience some feature of your application before asking him to do this.
Okay.
Okay, now we will try to see how the Google App Invite API works actually. So this is a simple diagram that explains what the user will see on the application if you push the button invite. So on the screen on the left top you can see some message. The message actually is written by the developer. It's some kind of okay, this application is amazing. So if you want to use it, just download it because I'm using it and I am liking it. And then you have some suggestion of the best people in your circle. So your Google friend on the second part of the screen. And then at the end here you have the list of your contact. So actually you can scroll and choose some contact. And you can also write an email. So there is here a space, you can write an email of some friend. And when you push the button send, the API will send the invitation using or the email or the SMS, depending if you choose someone from the Google Circle or someone from the contact list. And this is a screen a user receives when someone invites him to use an application. So this is an email actually, so he will receive the badge of the marketplace with some ratings and the description of the application. And there is a button install the application. If he reads and it is okay, he can install. And if he click install, he will be redirected on the marketplace if he didn't have the application installed yet on his phone. And on the marketplace, in the page of the application, he can just click on download. So directly on the page of the application, the marketplace. So actually it is two click, so one here and one on the marketplace. And then he can install the application. When he installs the application, he will open it for the first time. And if the developer writes some code for this, he can receive some rewards actually, and using some tool of Google called deep linking. Someone know what is app indexing, stuff like that? Google app indexing? Nobody know about this? Okay, I will explain. There is a way to make your Android application searchable on the Google on the Google search engine. So if someone is, let's say for example that you have a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and your Mexican restaurant also have an application, mobile, where the user maybe can ask for food or see the menu of the day or stuff like that. When someone comes in the city, in the Turin city, and he wants to eat something Mexican, he will write on the Google search bar Mexican food, Turin, for example, and it will have a lot of results actually from the web, so it will be the website of restaurant actually. But there is also some part where he will see some kind of a list of applications that connected to the word to the keyword Mexican food Turin. So you can put your application in the result search of the Google search engine using a tool called app indexing, Google app indexing. You can find it, and if you use it, if you already implement this Google app indexing, it is the same tool you will use to reward actually people that come in your application because they have been invited with the Google App Invite API. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's possible to search inside the application the contents of application or just the application?
Mhm. Okay, usually when you do the deep link or the app indexing, actually you are indexing one specific activity on your application. So if someone comes from the search engine, actually it will be redirected to that specific activity. So usually it's a specific content. Okay. So now the question is, as a developer, how I will add the Google App Invite in my application. So we have some steps: prepare, setup, configuration file in code. So let's go one by one. Okay, the preparation is really easy. You need a MacBook Pro. Okay, I'm kidding. You just need an Android Studio and a computer, obviously, and you need to download the Google Play service. Then you have to set up your Android project using the gradle file. On the gradle file of the app, you have to use this line to compile the library from Google Play Service App Invite. The last version actually is 8.4.0. And on the gradle file of the project level, you have to add this class path also from the Google service. And actually, we are still in the beta version, but we had some improvement from the beginning. That was at the end of 2015. And then we need to create a configuration file and put it on our project. So now the question is someone here already using Google API in general, or have used some Google API like you?
Maps.
Maps, okay, cool. And you?
Maps.
Maps, okay, cool. So maybe something here will be familiar for you. So that's cool. The first step is the Google Developer Console website. So you have to go to this website, and to add your application, you have to precise the name of the package of your application and stuff like that. And then you have to enable App Invite API for your application. And the console will ask you to share your SHA-1 encryption key. And actually, you know what is the SHA-1 encryption key of the application? Usually used to sign the application when you have to put it on Play Store. Perfect. And when you finish do this, you can download the file and put it in your project. So the structure of the file actually is sometimes like this, and on the service part you can have all the services that have been enabled. At this moment we enable the App Invite service, so all your data will be saved there, and then you also have other data for the authentication or API key if your API needs some API key. So this is the developer Google Console website. So actually it is easy. You can choose or create an application and you write the package name, and then you can configure it adding some API. Now you have to write some code, and you have to speak with the Google Play service to connect to the API and to use it actually. So how does it work? Usually you have your app there, and your app have to speak to some object called Google API client, and this object will handle the communication with the Google Play service installed in the device of the user actually. So we create a connection between the two, and then they will talk, have our application. Now let's see the code. So we can do 4 things. The first one is to create the Google API client object, and we have to enable app invite service, and then we connect to Google Play service. After this, we have to start the app invite intent, actually to send an invitation, and then we can handle the result to see if the invitation was sent or not. And we can also check if someone actually installed the application from an invitation from someone. So in this place, we can actually redirect the user to the reward activity, so to give the gift. Okay, let's go to the data. So the connection is easy. You create a Google API client, you have this builder, and you have to add the API. In this case, we add app invite API here. We enable the auto management so the builder will handle the connection for us. And then we build our object. So really important, we don't have to forget to add the API. This is a callback we receive when there is some problem of connection, if the connection failed with the Google Play service. How to send an invitation? We use a builder to create an app invite invitation object. And we have some parameter we have to set, like the invitation title, the invitation message. We can also set the URI of the deep link, speaking about the reward activity from the app indexing. And we can also give an image if you want to put maybe the logo of our application or some image of our application in the message. And then we have the call to action test, who usually is install the application. And then we can actually start the intent and wait for the result. So what happens if I do this? If I do this, someone will receive actually an email like this, where he will see the title actually, and he will see also the badge of the application, so information from the Google Place with the description of the application and maybe some rating from the store, and then the button to install the application. Okay. It is also possible to send invitation to people who use iOS phone. We just have to specify this in the builder. Set order platform target application, app inviter, project platform iOS. And you have to specify this iOS app client ID. This is important because some people actually have an application with two versions, one Android and one iOS. So obviously, if you implement the Google App Invite, you have also to manage that. I want to invite some friend, and my friend have an iPhone, for example.
Sorry, how
Yes.
do you know if your friend has an iPhone?
Actually, you don't know. In the moment when you are developing the application, when you are writing this code, you don't know if your friend has an iPhone. It's just some kind of, you prepare yourself. Like, if you have an iPhone and I put this line of code, actually the Google App Invite engine will handle it and will redirect it. He will redirect him to the App Store, actually, and not in the Google Play Store. Okay. There is also another customization. If someone wants to create a beautiful email of invitation, he can use HTML. So there is also a way to set email HTML content, so you can create a beautiful template or stuff like that. This is an example. Actually, I just put some bold text here, but you can put a lot of things if you want. I hope you know some HTML, CSS, and stuff like that. Okay, some people, cool. Now we have the invitation result, so the callback. When the user already sent the invitation, we receive this callback to say to us if actually everything was okay, so the result code will be result okay, and then we can take some information about the invitation we just sent. So we have the invitation ID that we can store if we have if we need it for something. You can log it or save it in the database if we will use it after, for example. And if something went wrong, actually we can just toss that the message was not sent. The reception of an invitation. So on create of your main activity, you have to put this code to handle people who come from an invitation. So they use the application from the first time, and actually they will come here, and there is an object called app invite invitation result that will give you some information about who invite actually this user to install this application and stuff like that. So a lot of information. Also here is for if you need to measure something or to do some statistic about your invitation, you can use it and store it on the database or send it to your server.
Excuse me. But
Yes.
On the Google dashboard, is it possible to have this statistic also, or do we have to deal with the statistic ourselves?
When you say Google dashboard, you mean the Google Play Store dashboard
Yes.
for developers?
Yes.
For the moment, no. I hope they will add something about this, but for the moment, we cannot measure it directly from the dashboard.
Oh.
But we will come again to the measurement on the third part. Oh, that's it. Okay, so we have to measure it. So let's imagine that we are building a video game application in Android, and we decide that, okay, if you invite 3 friends, you will go to the level 3, and if you invite 2 friends, I will give you 300 golds, for example, and stuff like that. So I need to store some statistic, and I need to know, okay, how many people this one already invite. It is already 3, no, and stuff like that. So we have to manage this data and to save this somewhere and stuff like that. And maybe you also want to know how many invitations the people already sent using our application, and how many people actually accept this invitation. But before, we have to talk a little bit about Google Analytics API. Who know Google Analytics? Cool. Some people. Okay. So Google Analytics is a tool from Google to analyze and measure data. Actually, it has been created at the beginning to measure behavior or data from website or from application. So it was for the web. But in this moment, there is also the mobile application. Actually, you can measure what the user are doing in the activities of your application using Google Analytics. So it works using this for important part. So the first part is the collection of the data. So from the activity, the Google Analytics API engine collects every data when the user do something. And then the developer needs to do some configuration to let know the Google Analytics engine how he wanted to handle the data that have been collected. And there is some processing on the server part. The Google Analytics server will process all the data, analyze them and stuff like that. And then we have the reporting part where the Google Analytics will show you a dashboard that you can configure to see actually the data with some graphics and stuff like that. Everything is clear? Yeah? See? Yeah? Okay. Cool. How to integrate Google Analytics API to measure your invites. So here we also have some steps. Since it is a Google API, we have the same thing to do, but there is something new called the tracking ID, because the Google Analytics server needs to recognize our application to process our data. So we need an ID. Okay, preparation is the same. The setup, we have to add actually Google service again, and we have to precise here, we compile the library Google Service Analytics. Okay, and then you have to set up the manifest because we need the internet connection and we have to access to the network state because the Google Analytics API will send the data collected to the server of Google. And then you also need to precise an application class. In this case, we call it Analytics Application. So, what we will do, we will create an account on the website of Google Analytics. We will add our mobile project that will be tracked, and then the website of Google Analytics will give us a tracking ID. We have to save it on our project, and then we will configure on the website again how the Google Analytics will process the app invite data. And then we have to configure the dashboard, so how we want the data to be shown to us. Okay, for the configuration file, we'll do the same thing. We go again to the Google Developer Console. We already have a project. We just enable a new API, Analytics API, and then we download the file and we replace the old one on our project. And this time we will have also something in the analytics service part with all the data that our compilator needs to handle this new service. Actually, it is easy because on the website of of the Google Console, when you add the app invite, it will propose you to track your invite with Google Analytics. So the first time you will activate the app invite, he will propose you to add the track invite, so you can just click it and do it just one time. So you will download actually the configuration file just one time because you activate the two services at the same moment and you can save time. Okay, now I skipped the web part because the website of Google, developer.android.com, no. On the website of the Google App Invite API, there is a documentation that helps you to actually configure the data in the analytics website and to configure a dashboard. It is a little bit annoying, so I skip it. So let's go to the Android code. So in the Android code, you have to create a tracker with a Java object. And with this tracker, we will generate events every time we want. And we will tell to the Google Analytics server what kind of event we are generating. So if there is an invitation we are sending, we generate an event. And if there is an invitation that is received, we generate another event. So let's see the code. In the application class, we create this object with this method called default tracker. We use Google Analytics to get instance, and then we create a new tracker. And here we use the ID, the tracker ID we save in the project. Now, from every part of our application, so in some activity, when we need to generate an event, we can use this code to call the default tracker. And we want to send an event, we just generate an event with the head builders, event builder, and we have to set two mandatory parameters, who are the category, in this case invitation, and the action, in this case send. The same thing will happen for when I receive an invitation, so I can generate another event and say that this invitation has been accepted. Okay, this is an example, for example, of a dashboard configure and some data actually. So you can see, for example, some event action you generate from your Android application. You can track the number, you can see all the graph and stuff like that, and you can have some indication from the country, and that's it. So you can measure it from time to time. From something more complex, actually, we will generate more events, not just send. We will generate other complex events if you need to do something more complex. So this was just an example. So we just have invitation sent, invitation accepted, and invitation completed. Okay, so since it's a lot of annoying stuff, I decided to show you some demo so you can actually see it works. So this is my phone, so I open the application and I click in invite, and I have actually my contact list and the suggestion from Google, and I can scroll and I can choose every friend I want to send the invitation. I can also write an email, for example. And then I push send. And then it will work, and then we will send the invitation. So this is what happened actually when someone sends an invitation with Google App Invite. This is the experience of the user. This is the QR code for the application. If someone wants to test it, actually, you can do it. Okay, obviously we will give you the slide after the event. So if you are following the social network of Digital Win or Twitter and stuff like that, we will send you the slide after. You can find some code on this link if you want to try it on your own application, for example. And thank you for your attention. So if you have other question, this is the moment. No other question? Some don't want to discover something? Yes?
It's possible to track the by the friends. I mean, the user send the invitation to one friend with a particular link. I don't know, a code of the user. As it happens on some site, that an invitation is not general but of the user.
Nessuna connessione internet.
Come si chiama?
Okay. So give me a specific
Moncle.
Posso spiegartelo in italiano?
Certo.
Ci sono alcuni siti in cui l'utente invita un altro utente con un suo codice, in modo che magari possa avere dei benefici perché è registrato tramite il suo link.
Questo ti apre
Ah,
da
ok.
me.
Sì, ok, capito. È una cosa tipo, come si chiama già? Referrals o insomma, colui che ti ha invitato.
Sì, faccio un esempio su un gioco: il fatto di invitare un'altra persona al momento dell'iscrizione dà 10 monete del gioco in più, una cosa del genere.
Ok.
Se è possibile tenere traccia in questo...
È possibile, infatti durante la presentazione ho parlato di una cosa un po' in modo magari veloce. Quando ricevi il risultato di qualcuno che hai invitato, io ogni volta che inviti qualcuno c'è un ID. Quando l'invitazione c'è un ID che tiene traccia di quell'invito lì. E poi quando un evento, un invito è ricevuto dall'utente, questo app invite result ha un oggetto che è chiamato app referral something, e questo oggetto lì contiene tutti i dati di cui parli tu per poter tracciare attualmente il numero di inviti o chi è invitato lì. quindi c'è il modo di farlo. Altre domande? Adesso siamo in italiano, quindi non siete timidi. Curiosità? Sì? Sì? Mhm.
Non si può rifiutare una invitation? Ho visto nelle battute che il monitoring gli andava solo prestati le invitation accettate
Mhm.
pending
E completed, just, ok. Sì.
Mi chiedevo quali sono le scelte che ha a disposizione quindi invece un'invitation
Mhm. Ok.
non
Non-
resta pending fino a quando
Ok. Questa è una buona domanda. Sì, allora, quando mandi l'invito può non partire, se non parte perché c'è un problema di internet o un problema di comunicazione, quindi l'invito non va a buon fine, questo lo possiamo sapere ovviamente. L'utente può ovviamente non installare l'applicazione, quindi corrisponde un po'. Sembra che lui potrebbe aver rifiutato, ma non lo possiamo sapere perché comunque ogni volta può riaprire la mail dell'invito e installare l'applicazione. Quindi non c'è il modo reale di tracciare quelli che hanno rifiutato, ma possiamo sapere ok, questo è stato mandato e questo è stato completato, poi magari facciamo sostrazioni o cose del genere. Ovviamente l'utente può rifiutare, solo che se rifiuta di installare l'applicazione io non saprò mai. E quindi sarà un po' come, collegandoci alla sua domanda, che ok, tu devi invitare 3 amici per avere 300 gold, ok, nella tua dashboard ti dico guarda che hai invitato 3 amici, 2 hanno accettato, il terzo non si sa, aspettiamo, però non ti posso dare i 300 gold, se accetta poi ti dirò. Altre domande? Ok. Vi ricordiamo che
Questo è per chi ha seguito Stadi.
sì. Che il codice sa con voi, se provate a usare il Google Application. Quindi lascio la parola a Giulia.
ok.
Grazie Will.